Hi, this is Lori McDonald here with my Piano Pizzazz tutorial. Thanks for joining me. We're going to be working on the songs from the Perfect 10. Today we're on song 6. Look how far you've come. So this one is called Jammin' on Bass. All right, so this is our jazz song in the book. As you've noticed, there's a lot of different styles in this book, and I hope that you're enjoying all of them. This particular one is a jazz. So you may think of jazz as like a jazz band, a jazz piano arrangement, whatever, but this one is kind of a little bit more supposed to be imitating the sound of a couple of guitarists kind of jamming out to some little jazz music. So I'm going to show you how we can achieve that and make it sound a little bit more like that after we learn it, okay? So the first thing I'm noticing about this song is that it starts on a low D. We're in the key of F based on the key signature, so D tells me that we're in the minor. So we are going to be working through the first little riff here in the left hand, okay? So you're going to want to watch your finger numbers and listen how the rhythm is going to go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, 3, 4. Now you'll notice that I don't always include all of the ands between every single number. I sometimes do, I kind of do them imaginary. Sometimes I'm kind of going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. That way I anticipate that and coming in between beat 4 and beat 1 as you have it right here. Also, there's 2 tied notes. So you might just want to cross off the second tied note. So you're not going to be playing anything on beat 1 on both of those 2 measures. Okay, so the left hand has several places throughout the song where it's doing that same idea where you're starting low down, and so you're going to want to work on that as one element. The second element is the right hand. So I'm imagining this as being the second guitarist, and it's going to be a little bit higher. Okay, so this person up here has more like chords and stuff. Starting down here and going up to measure 17, you can hear how that has some jazz kind of sounds here. So the right hand continues, and you'll notice here on measure 23, it kind of imitates the same sound as the left hand. It goes. And it goes back into those chords. So that's kind of a fun play with each other there. Over here at the end, it does a chromatic scale, and it sounds pretty cool with the left hand, actually. This is going to be a bit of a tricky spot. You're going to want to practice extra on this part because chromatically, that's challenging, and then you're going opposite ways in the left hand. And to beat all, you've got a page turn right there, so then you go right into the downbeat there. So that's going to take a little bit of practicing. You're going to have to figure out how to turn the page and how to keep that going. So normally I don't always play all of the left hand octaves going down there. I kind of have to sacrifice a couple of those to get my page turned with my left hand so that I can be here for the downbeat. Okay, so then the third thing that you're going to have in this song is the little sound effects. So I've marked those with like a little fireworks, like colored pencils. So that first one is here on measure 8, and it's a little like a little jazzy kind of sound. So I'm hitting the C sharp on the way to the D. It says the 3 to the 4. I was doing a little different, but you can do it with whatever fingers work best for you. So you can hear that little C sharp right before the D and the A. All right, so it does it again there. It does it again over here, but it's up here. Okay, so be ready for that sound effect. That's gonna, I think that's supposed to kind of sound like a drum or like a snare or some kind of cool sound that you might hear in the jazz band. Also, here on measure 29 and 30, you have this big chord. It's like a punch. Okay, so you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that sounds pretty cool. So you want to play nice and aggressive on that. It has those little accents, like the little V right above the chord. So be sure that you give that a big punch right there. Okay. So if I play this on the piano setting, you can see it's going to sound okay. I'll show you a little bit of it here. I'm going to just start here on measure 5. It's a little bit lacking. Like it doesn't really sound like jamming on the bass. So why I'm choosing to do this on the clavinova today is because I know many of you have keyboards. So you have the option of adding styles and voices and changing up what you normally play. But you may say, well, I don't know how to change it up. So let me just give you some ideas. My piano may be different from yours, but it probably has something similar. All right, so I'm going to the style. The style gives me my background rhythm. Okay, so this is called Jammin on the Bass. It's a jazz selection. So I'm going to my country blues right here, and several selections come up. So I found one that's called country rock. Okay, so it has a nice little feel. So I'm going to show you what just the rhythm sounds like. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you may say that's too fast for you. The tempo, every keyboard has a tempo thing. You can slow it down. If you want it slower, you can make it faster just by the minus and the plus signs. Okay, so I'm also going to incorporate two different voices here. So on the left side, remember I told you we have the lower bass sound. So on this one, I'm going to go to the bass guitar category. I'm going to choose my bass instrument, and I'm going to choose the one that says electric bass. Okay, so there's a few pages here on this one. So I'm going to go over here to choose electric bass, and you can hear the sound on this. Doesn't that sound better than just the piano setting? I think you're gonna like this. All right, and then over on the right side, above this little dot is the right half. I'm gonna choose a different type of guitar. The one I think would sound good is under the clean solid, and it's called the Jazz Artist. Okay, so usually I try to find instruments that would be complementary to each other. They don't need to sound the same. That's why we're dividing it up. So see what you think about this one. See how that sounds like it would be appropriate for the chords. And then when it has this little part that goes, that has a nice sound there as well. Now, I have it in the range that's a little bit lower. Different instruments have different ranges. So you'll notice when this gets to the really high part at the end, it's a little piercing. Okay, but I'm going to leave it that way just for now because I want you to feel and hear the whole effect. Okay, so I'm going to start my introduction, and then I'm going to change. I'm going to be my own DJ and performer, and I'm going to be 3 instruments all at the same time. So this gives you a lot of fun. You can see how much fun this could be, and you could really dip into your creative ideas. And whatever I come up with here today, I could do something totally different tomorrow. So you can just kind of play around with it. But if you don't know how to play the song, then you're stuck. So you got to learn how to play the song first, then start doctoring it up. Okay, so this would be more like your end result. All right, so let's see, try the introduction. It's going to give me my beat. I'm going to try to stick with the beat because it's going to be hard to count those 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to feel it with the beat a little bit more. Okay, here it goes. 2, 3. perfect, but you could see it was really fun. So you can kind of change up. If you didn't like the sound of that particular one, there's probably going to be something on your keyboard that you would like, that you would enjoy doctoring up your songs. You can do this with a lot of songs. It can be any song, but particularly one that has jazz, you would really find that if you use some of the jazz instruments, it's going to really dip into that feeling and give you that idea that you're able to play just like you would be in a jazz band, although you're in your living room by yourself. So I hope that you'll enjoy this. It does go up kind of high to the octave higher part at the end, which raises your hand all the way to the highest D. So I find that that's a little uncomfortable if you're not used to moving your hands around. So you could try to just keep it in the same range without raising it up, but you're going to run into going too low when you get here. So it's really better if you do go all the way up and then you end up all the way down low toward the end. So I hope that you'll have fun working on this. It may take you longer than a month to get it down where you could play it with some rhythms, but keep working at it and eventually you'll get it. All right, have a great day. I'll see you in the next video.